If you're skipping meals, drinking black coffee, and calling it healthy fasting, you might be quietly damaging your body without even realizing it. Yeah, I know that sounds extreme, but your body has been trying to warn you. The sudden fatigue, the irritability, that stubborn belly fat that refuses to go away no matter how long you fast. You've probably brushed it off, thinking, this is just part of the process. But what if it's not? What if the way you've been fasting is the exact reason your results have stalled? Most people think fasting is simple. Just don't eat. And the longer you go, the better the results. That's what everyone online says. That's what influencers show. That's even what some doctors casually recommend. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one explains properly. Your body doesn't see fasting the way you do. To your body, fasting can either be a powerful reset or a silent stress signal. And the difference between those two? It's not how long you fast, it's how you fast. And this is where things start to go wrong. Because there's a mistake, a very specific one, that millions of people are making every single day. A mistake that slows your metabolism, increases cravings, messes with your hormones, and in some cases, can actually make fat loss harder. The scary part? It feels like you're doing everything right. You might even feel proud of your discipline. Skipping breakfast, pushing through hunger, ignoring your body's signals because you believe this is how it's supposed to work. But your body is keeping score. And if you've ever felt like fasting works for others, but not for you, if you've ever experienced that weird mix of exhaustion and hunger, or noticed that your energy crashes harder than before, then this isn't random. It's a pattern. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, because what you're about to learn isn't just about fasting. It's about how your body actually responds when you think you're being healthy, but something deeper is off. And trust me, the biggest mistake? Almost no one talks about it. You've probably seen the success stories. People claiming they dropped weight fast, saying they feel sharper, lighter, more in control. Fasting becomes this almost elite habit, like if you're not doing it, you're missing out. So you try it. You skip breakfast, maybe even lunch. You push through the hunger because you've been told it's normal, even beneficial. And at first, something does happen. The scale might drop a little. You feel a strange sense of discipline, like you've finally cracked the code. But then, something shifts. Your energy dips harder than expected. You start craving foods you normally wouldn't even think about. Late at night, your willpower disappears. And that control you felt earlier? It turns into frustration. Now this is where most people blame themselves. They think, I just need more discipline. Or, maybe I'm not fasting long enough. But that's not the real problem. Here's what most people don't realize. Fasting isn't just about not eating. It's a signal. A message your body interprets in very specific ways, and depending on your routine, your stress levels, your sleep, and even what you eat before and after, your body can either respond in a way that supports fat loss and energy, or it can go into a protective mode. And this is the part no one explains clearly. Because when your body feels too much stress, even from something healthy like fasting, it starts working against you, slowing things down, holding on to energy, making you feel hungrier, not less. You've probably noticed this without connecting the dots. That moment when you break your fast and can't stop eating, or when you feel cold, tired, and mentally foggy for no obvious reason. It's not weakness, it's feedback. And once you understand what your body is actually trying to tell you, everything about fasting starts to look very different. Because the goal isn't to fast longer, it's to fast smarter. Section 1. The longer is better myth that backfires. Most people think the longer you fast, the faster you burn fat. Sounds logical, right? No food jacks body burns, stored energy jack weight loss. But here's where it gets interesting. Your body doesn't just burn fat when you stop eating. It adapts. And sometimes, it adapts in ways you don't expect. Let's say you skip meals for long hours, maybe 16, 18, even 24 hours. At first, your body taps into stored energy. That part is real. But if this becomes frequent, especially without the right balance, your body starts asking a different question. Is food becoming scarce? And this is where things go wrong. Because your body is wired for survival, not aesthetics. When it senses repeated long fasting periods, especially combined with stress, poor sleep, or undereating, it may begin to slow your metabolism to conserve energy. Studies suggest this kind of adaptation can reduce how efficiently your body burns calories over time. So instead of speeding things up, you might actually be slowing things down. But wait, this changes everything. Because now, even when you eat again, your body is more likely to store energy instead of burning it efficiently. That's why some people notice this strange pattern. They fast longer, but their results plateau. Or worse, they regain weight quickly after eating. And it feels confusing. You're eating less. You're trying harder. But your body isn't responding the way you expected. Now let's make this real. Imagine someone who skips breakfast and lunch daily, then eats one big meal at night. On paper, it looks like discipline. But inside the body, several things are happening. Stress hormones like cortisol may rise hunger hormones like ghrelin spike. Harder your body becomes more sensitive to storing energy after long deprivation, so when that evening meal comes, it's not just hunger. It's intense biological drive. And that's why stopping at just one portion suddenly feels impossible. But that's not even the biggest issue. The real problem is what this pattern does over time. Because when your body keeps cycling between deprivation and overload, it becomes less predictable. Energy crashes get worse. Cravings get stronger. And fat loss becomes inconsistent. And this is the part no one talks about. Fasting isn't just about not eating. It's about how your body interprets that gap. Section 2. Why your hunger is getting worse. Not better. You've probably been told that fasting reduces hunger. And at first, that might actually feel true. You skip a meal, and surprisingly, you're not as hungry as you expected. It feels like progress, like your body is adapting. But then, something strange happens. A few days or weeks later, your hunger comes back stronger. Not normal hunger. Intense, almost uncontrollable cravings. And this is where most people panic. Why am I getting hungrier if I'm fasting more? Here's what most people don't realize. Hunger isn't just about your stomach being empty. It's controlled by hormones, especially one called ghrelin. And ghrelin doesn't just respond to food. It responds to patterns. So if you repeatedly delay eating, your body starts adjusting when it expects food. But if that pattern becomes too extreme or inconsistent, ghrelin spikes harder, not softer. Which means your hunger signals don't disappear, they intensify. But wait, it gets worse, because fasting without proper nutrition before and after can also affect another key hormone, leptin, which helps regulate fullness. When leptin signaling is off, your brain doesn't get the message that you've eaten enough. So now you have a double effect. Stronger hunger signals, weaker I'm full signals, and that combination? It's powerful. This is why you might find yourself eating quickly, craving sugary or high-calorie foods, and still not feeling satisfied afterward. Now think about this. Have you ever broken a fast with something small, thinking you'll stay in control, and then suddenly ended up overeating? That's not random. That's your body trying to recover from what it perceives as a deficit. And here's the twist most people miss. The problem isn't hunger itself. It's how you're creating it. Because when fasting is done in a way that supports your body, with proper meals, balanced nutrients, and enough recovery, hunger can stabilize. But when it's done aggressively, without structure, your body pushes back. Hard. Section 3. The hidden stress response no one mentions here's something that might surprise you. Fasting is a form of stress. Not necessarily bad stress, but stress nonetheless. And your body doesn't treat all stress equally. There's physical stress, emotional stress, like anxiety, and internal stress, like lack of food. When these stack together, your body doesn't separate them, it combines them. Now, this is where most people go wrong. They start fasting while already stressed. Busy schedules, poor sleep, mental pressure. Then on top of that, no food for long periods. And the body reacts. One of the key players here is cortisol, your primary stress hormone. In small amounts, cortisol is helpful. It keeps you alert and energized. But when it stays elevated for too long, it can start affecting your body in subtle ways. Here's what that can look like. Feeling wired but tired, difficulty sleeping, even when exhausted holding on to belly fat, despite eating less, increased cravings for quick energy foods. Sound familiar? But that's not the real problem. The real issue is how this ongoing stress changes your internal balance. Because when cortisol stays elevated, your body may prioritize survival over fat loss. It becomes less efficient at using stored fat and more focused on maintaining stability. And this is why some people feel like fasting stops working. Not because fasting is bad, but because the context is wrong. Now imagine this scenario. You wake up tired. Skip breakfast. Drink coffee. Work through stress. Skip lunch. By evening, your body is running on stress signals. Then you eat. At that moment, your body doesn't just see food as fuel. It sees it as recovery. And it reacts accordingly. Sometimes storing more. Sometimes craving more. Sometimes making you feel sluggish afterward. But wait, this changes everything. Because now, fasting isn't just about willpower. It's about balance. And if that balance is off, your results will be too. Section 4. The mistake you make after fasting that ruins everything. Most people focus so much on the fasting window that they completely ignore what happens after. And this is where things quietly fall apart. Because how you break your fast can completely change how your body responds. Let's break this down. After hours without food, your body becomes more sensitive. Your blood sugar response changes. Your hormones are primed. So the first thing you eat matters more than you think. But here's what most people do. They break their fast with whatever is convenient. Sugary snacks, refined carbs, large, heavy meals, or sometimes they go from nothing to everything in minutes. And this creates a rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash. And that crash, it brings fatigue, cravings, and sometimes even more hunger than before. Now this is where things go wrong, because instead of stabilizing your body after fasting, you're putting it on a roller coaster. And over time, this pattern can make fasting feel harder, not easier. Here's a simple example. Person A fasts for 16 hours, then breaks it with a balanced meal, protein, healthy fats, fiber. Their energy stays stable. Hunger remains controlled. Person B fasts for 16 hours, then breaks it with sugary foods or overeats quickly. Their energy spikes, then crashes. Hunger returns stronger. Same fasting window, completely different outcome. But that's not even the biggest mistake. The real issue is inconsistency. Fasting one day, overeating the next, skipping meals, then compensating, going extreme, then losing control. Your body thrives on patterns. And when those patterns are chaotic, your results become chaotic too. And this is the part no one talks about. Fasting doesn't fail you. But the way it's applied often does, because it's not just about discipline. It's about understanding how your body responds and working with it, not against it. So when you step back and look at everything, it's not that fasting is bad. It's that most people are doing it in a way their body quietly resists. You've been told to push longer, ignore hunger, be more disciplined, but your body was never asking for more force. It was asking for better signals. Here's what actually changes things. Shorter, consistent fasting windows instead of extreme ones. Meals that stabilize you, not spike and crash you. Paying attention to sleep, stress, and recovery, because fasting doesn't happen in isolation. And, most importantly, listening to what your body is already showing you. Because those energy crashes, that uncontrollable hunger, that stubborn fat, They're not failures. They're feedback. And once you start adjusting based on that feedback, not fighting it, everything starts to shift. Fasting begins to feel easier. Your energy becomes more stable. And your results finally start making sense. This is the part no one explains clearly. It's not about doing more. It's about doing it right. If this made you see fasting a little differently, you're not alone. Most people never hear it explained this way, and once you understand how your body actually responds, everything starts to click. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more simple, honest health insights like this. No hype, no confusion, just things that actually make sense for your body. And if this felt like it was describing you, take a moment to reflect on what you might adjust starting today.